Yes, yes. All right, let's see. Yo. Let's see. See, we up and popping. All right, cool. Shalom, Israel. This is I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commander General YAHANNA. This is Officer in the Shock My coming out of the Tennessee camp. Sorry for the inconvenience. Trying to get things under control. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, man, what we're gonna get into tonight is we're gonna talk about abortions. I mean, abortions are the #1 killer of our nation. It's not about high blood pressure. And if you have any questions, please just go ahead and put them in the chat, man. I'll get to you as soon as I can. But you know, a lot of people think #1 killer for black folks is like heart disease, high blood pressure, man, I don't know, diabetes, stuff like that. No, man, the #1 killer is abortions. For one, abortions are not lawful, man. It's not lawful. It's nothing good about it. The worst thing a sister can do is to kill their child, man. You know, that child deserves to live. You know what I mean? And it's almost like the way society even teaches, or what should I say, programs our sisters and brothers, is to have a child is a burden. So you have to find a way to get rid of it. It's going to hinder your life. You can't do anything. It weighs you down, almost like it's a weight that that is not a blessing, man. That's a blessing from the Lord. There's no way you should ever take a child's life because you feel like you don't want to. You don't want to handle it. You don't want the responsibility. You wasn't saying that when you opened your legs, brother. You wasn't saying that when you decided to put your rod in. You know what I'm saying? So that child should live. You know, and the Lord wants that child to live. And of course, we're gonna get some precepts, and we're gonna, of course, get into the. We're gonna pull some articles, man, because another thing is, Margaret Sanger is the creator of eugenics, the creator of how do we get rid of these. In her words, it's like she considered blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. She considered them the lowest of the low. Scum of the earth. Don't even deserve to bear a child. She thought that having multiple children is a risk. It's like it would hurt society, And we're gonna get into some quotes that she actually said out her own mouth. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna break down also what do people do with uh because see, at first, let me break it down like this. At first, with abortions, right? Um, these clinics like Planned Parenthood would take these fetuses and just throw them in the trash. It's all about just getting rid of the so-called population of blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. All right, so then it got to a point where they started realizing they can make money off this, from the stem cells to the blood to the actual baby parts. Man, we're gonna find one article that discusses. It was some years back, but it talks about even how the body parts are worth different amounts of money. So not only do they convince you to get rid of this child, you pay for the abortion. Then the company that gets the abortion gets a check from the government. Then they get hooked up with other businesses that pay for the body parts because they can do stem cell research. Now, why is stem cell research important? Stem cell research is important to them because they can take those stem cells and regenerate tissue. We're talking about tissue from brain tissue, your digestive tract, the tissue in there, bone marrow, all kinds of stem cells has all kinds of regenerative properties in it. Even Peyton Manning, a football player, famous quarterback, played for Indianapolis Colts and Denver Broncos. He had a serious neck injury due to stem regenerated. Uh, uh, I forgot exactly what was called in his neck, but it was something degenerative in his neck. They took these stem cells and it regenerated itself in him. So this is what they're not just getting rid of our people, man. They're making money off of from our children. So, man, let's hop right into the scriptures, because the first thing a lot of women want to say is, "It's my body. I can do what I want to," right? Another thing women want to say is, "It don't matter. It's my decision." Stuff like that. Man, let's look in the Bible, man, because like I always say, man, we don't just talk about stuff based on feeling and what our thoughts are and stuff like that. Man, we prove it through the Bible. That's the proven factor right there. That's our laws. You know what I'm saying? That's what we go by. So we're gonna hit Deuteronomy 28 and 41. Oh, slack, hold on. Get this right. No, slack, 28 and 56. 28 and 56. We're probably gonna do 56 and 57. Deuteronomy 28, verse 57. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay, yeah. Deuteronomy 28, verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. Meaning that at this time, man, in the Bible, what it's talking about is how women were so delicate, man. They didn't even want to put their tender feet on the ground. They were just a very they 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 carried themselves like when we knew who we were and we had our heritage. The woman was very precious. She knew who she was. She wasn't trying to act like no man. She knew the laws of the Bible. She wasn't trying to act like a man. She wasn't trying to, overpower a man. Like I seen today, man. I don't mean to digress, but I think it's valid. I seen today on Facebook where there's some kind of reality show, and the dude was in. They was in some kind of club or bar or something, and the dude was with one woman, and then obviously he's had a child with this other woman, and she walks in. So the woman that just walked in says she wants to talk to the woman that he came with. So he's sitting there in dumbfounded, not saying that. How about the woman that he was with said, that's okay, you can go sit down. She told this man he could go sit down as if he was a kid, as if he was her pit bull. That's the point. Like in the time that we living in now, man, we so our men are so destroyed, our women are so destroyed. We don't even know our roles. That woman is supposed to talk to that man like that. That man's supposed to handle his business. He's supposed to tell her, hey, you go ahead and have a seat. I'm gonna take care of this. And he settles that whole situation without emotions or anything. Living according to the Bible, man, is very powerful. But this part of this scripture, again, Deuteronomy 28:56, is just explaining how delicate and how righteous a woman was, especially when they knew who they were. Now let's keep reading and see what it says. Her eyes shall be evil toward the husband. Now this is after that. I read the whole scripture again. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. Her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom. Now, what does this mean right after it said that in the scripture? Of course, it's talking about the delicateness of a woman that knows who she is, knows the role she plays when it comes to her being married to that man, and her knowing who she is according to the laws. So when it talks about her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter. This is talking about how an evil woman, a woman that feels like she doesn't have to go by any laws, a woman that feels like she don't need a man, a woman that feels like you can't tell her what to do. A woman like this becomes an evil woman to where she will turn on her own man, she will turn on her son, she will turn on her daughter. Why? Because no one can tell her anything. She rules her world. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't even listen to the Lord, to the Most High. So then these are the same women that end up, and this is a tripped out thing too, they end up, let's say, wanting to be a lesbian. They get into a homosexual relationship, and then they get in a homosexual relationship with a woman, so-called, that looks like a dude. If you were trying to avoid a man because you didn't want him telling you what to do, then why would you sit there and find a woman that is masculine, that looks like a man? But you don't want to deal with me. This is a confused woman that will turn on anybody, especially her man. And all this is we're gonna tie all this together to explain how this ties into abortion, of course. Let's keep reading. Verse 57. And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet. Say that again. And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear. What this is, let me keep reading. For she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. This woman, being so evil, will take advantage of what white society gives you, which is the option to kill your children. Why? Is this to benefit you, sister? Is this to benefit you, brother? No, it's not. All it's used is a weapon, a diabolical weapon to destroy you as a people. Because they've taken everything from you. They took your identity, they've taken your heritage. They've even tried to take your king by making him a white man with long straight hair, a fake ass Patrick Swayze. This scripture is describing the evil that a woman can become when she doesn't go by these laws, when she turns against her family. And in the society that gives you, so-called gives you that right, yeah, you'll kill your baby. Why? Because you want to keep going to the club. Because you don't want to be tied down. Because you feel like you ain't got no life anymore. When having a child is one of the best moments in your life. Let's find us another scripture, man. Let's hit Lamentations 4 and 3. Lamentations 4, verse 3. Lamentations 4 and 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. This scripture is telling you, like when it says, even the sea monsters draw out the breast. Even animals, in this specifics, animals in the sea, even the ugliest, meanest beast that you could look at in the animal world, right, takes care of the babies. They take care of their children, man. They have them, they take care of them. They wait till they get old enough, and they help them all along the way. And also, it's kind of crazy that some of our sisters, man, is caught up in this world, and with these abortions with alarming rates. I mean, it's like, I think it's up to 400 or 800 a day. You know what I'm saying? That's very scary. You know what I mean? That's a serious killer among our nation. But our sisters, man, they don't even give a child a chance to live. An animal at least give this child a chance to live. Our sisters caught up caught up in this society, man. They don't they are so filled with evil because they don't go by any law. They don't know what they're doing. That they don't even give their children a chance to live, and they kill them. They kill them before they even come out, before it's time to even come out. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep going, man. Let's get Job 39 and 13. Let me see something. Yeah, because I want to. This is actually a precept to Lamentations, but let's get Job 13. No, it's like Job 39, 13 through 16. Job 39, 13 through 16. So, Okay. Job 39, verse 13. Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth, and warmeth them in dust, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beast may break them. Now, what are we looking at? Not Salaki, that's 15. Let me go 16. She is hardened against her young ones. This is key right here. Listen. She is hard, this is verse 16. She is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain, without fear. So that was Job 39, 13 through 16. What could this really be talking about? When it's talking about the ostriches, the ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth and warmeth them in dust. It's giving you a metaphor on how an ostrich will lay eggs and leave it in the dirt and walk off. It's not worried about even that it might stick, like it'll leave it under the dust, under the ground. It's not even worried about that it might step on it itself, or another beast or another animal could come around and crush that egg. And then in 16 it says, she is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain, without fear. Now, what is this really talking about? What this is talking about, man, when our sisters is getting these abortions, man, they don't care. They care less that they're about to have a child. They care more about themselves. That's why they're willing to sit there and go ahead and kill their child like it's nothing. Does it convict them in their mind? I'm sure it do, man. You can't just do that and it just don't bother you. But the point is, they're doing it. They make it that we as a nation, we're making that choice to kill our young princesses and our young warriors. Why? Because the white man is telling you to at the end of the day. Think about that. Because he's telling you to. There's nowhere in the scripture where it allows that. That is totally against our law. All right? Let's get to, let's hit Psalms 100, verse 3. Real quick. Psalms 100, verse 3. Okay. All right. Psalms 100, verse 3. Now, what is this about to address? This is going to address the sisters that want to say, it's my body, I do what I want to do with it. Or fake black leaders and politicians like Barack Obama that pushed abortions, saying it's their choice. They should have the choice to do that. No, man, it's not a choice, man. If you're an Israelite, if you come from these 12 tribes, if you believe in the Most High, no, it ain't a choice, man. You have that child. You don't know who that child's gonna be. Who the Most High under any circumstance where he wants that child to be. But you want to take it upon yourself to destroy their life and be the white man's diabolical weapon. At that point, you are the white man's weapon. You decide to destroy your own people. That child is your people. That's supposed to be a young man or a young woman that you're supposed to be raising it and taking care of. Now, let's look in this scripture. Psalms 100, verse 3. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us. You didn't make yourself. You didn't decide to come here. The Lord put you here. That was his decision. He put you here for a reason. Just like he put that child within you here for a reason. We need to stop thinking that uh, our lives are ours. They're not. They're the Most High. We belong to Him. We come here to do. We come here to serve a certain purpose. That child that our sisters are aborting, that child that even some of our brothers too are pushing them sisters to have abortions, are dead wrong for that, man. That's not their decision. They're supposed to take care of that child. Let's keep reading. And not we, let me read that again. It is he that have made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. We are his people. You didn't I know you think you made that decision for that child to get here, but the Lord wanted that child to be. All right. Um, I'm gonna get one more scripture, but I'm gonna do that in a few minutes because I want to get to these articles, man. Uh, Again, if you on there and you got a question, man, just go ahead and chime in. I'll make sure I get that for you. 1 second, man. I should have had some papers printed up, but I didn't. So I'm using my phone. So bear with me. Straight bootlegging. But you know how we do. Get it straight. All right. Thing I want to cover first, right, is man, first of all, let me tell you like this. Let's just be 100 real quick, right? Um, Man, uh, Obamacare, it allowed abortion. It allowed. Obamacare had like $1,500. Like if you do a round figure, it was like $1,500. These Planned Parenthood clinics like that would make off of a child, and it's like when you break it down, it's like $75 for the heart, stuff like $35 for the body part. Then it's a fee for the abortion, of course. Then people get some money for what do you call it? People get them. They also get money from the government, and then they get money for the research because the stem cell research is a big part of this. You know what I'm saying? When they found out that we need to, because what happened was I think I'm not sure how long ago, but people were doing these abortions and they was throwing these babies in the trash, and then people started discovering them. You know, people were going through people's trash. They'd be like, hey, it's a baby here. You know, police get involved, whoever, detectives. Now it's this. You know what I'm saying? It's getting big now. It's a spotlight on what y'all really doing. So then it went from that to where they started having places in their facilities where they were getting rid of the fetuses, the babies. So it got to a point where they was putting them in buildings to be burned or whatnot, and they was getting rid of the smell. You couldn't detect it. Then evidently somebody discovered that, hey, wait a minute, you know, the DNA within these babies is very strong in stem cells, especially the blood and like the placenta, I think the umbilical cord. Um, they were very rich in materials that scientists was looking at. You know, I won't say materials, but like tissue and stuff like that they was trying to use because the white man is scared of death. He's terrified of death. He will do anything in this world to die. That's why you see like they always they be having like 5 and 6 heart transplant. I think one of them not Rockefeller, Rothschilds had like, man, I think he had about 6 or 7 heart transplants or something like that. So they're terrified of death. So they're always trying to beat death. They're always trying to defy the Lord. You know what I mean? So stem cell research is a big part of this, and we're gonna get to that too. Let me hit you with some stats. I just wanted to say that about the Obamacare thing. And man, let me say this also, man. At the same time, we're pointing out how wrong our brothers and sisters are as far as getting these abortions. We have to realize, man, we cannot demonize these women. We cannot demonize our sisters. They are lost out here. I know they're doing wrong, but they are lost out here, man. They need help. They need to repent, come to the truth, and be taught who they truly are and how important they are and their child. How important it is for them to be up under a man that can take care of them, that can teach them, God. You know what I'm saying? So we shouldn't just be demonizing. You know what I'm saying? The whole point of me even bringing this topic out is to dig up the truth about abortions, where it came from, what it is, the endless murders of one of the it is the number one killer in our nation, and who created it, and what's the end game in all of it? Because they're not doing it. Well, of course they wanna wipe us out, but look how they're even profiting off of the death of our children. So we're gonna dig all that up. All right. Now this article is from the Right to Life of Michigan. It says Black abortions by the numbers. In the United States, the abortion rate for Black women is almost 4 times that of white women. On average, 900 Black babies are aborted every day in the United States. Listen to that again. 900 Black babies are aborted every day in the United States. That's just the United States. This tragedy continues to impact the population levels of African Americans in the United States. The abortion racial disparity holds true, and the focus is on Michigan statistics as well, meaning that also in Michigan. More than 19 million Black babies have been aborted since the 1973 Roe versus Wade U.S. Supreme Court decision legalized abortions in our country. So it was officially legalized in 1973, right? And more than 19 million babies have been aborted since the 1970 since it was legalized. Man, way more than 19 million. Way more. Black women have a significant higher abortion rate than whites. 36% of all abortions in the U.S. in 2014 were performed on Black women. You gotta think, man, we don't even make up that much of the population. And this is just talking about Black women. They don't even make up that much of the population in the U.S. And then listen to this again. 36% of all abortions in the U.S. in 2014 were performed on Black women. However, only about 13.3% of the total population is Black. They try to always make it seem like, but it ain't that many. No, it's a huge amount. 36%, that's huge. That's all I wanted with that, just to show you how serious this thing is, man. It is a killer, literally. It is out here murdering our people. You know what I'm saying? So this next one, right? This next one is this is talking about Margaret Sanger. And let me get to it. There was this thing she had, and let me break down who Margaret Sanger is. All right, Margaret Sanger, man, is one of the most evil white women ever walked the planet. She is totally responsible for coming up with a program called eugenics. Eugenics was nothing but to sterilize and to annihilate the children of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. When you look at the poverty level, the demographic of what she was aiming at, that's who she was aiming at. She was aiming at the so-called poverty level at that time. We're gonna get into her a little bit too later. But the main thing I want you to realize is she is the one that came up with this process on how to. She even came up with programs where if you wanted government assistance, stamps, money like that, you had to get sterilized first. You had to get sterilized before you were able to get government assistance. When you get locked up, she initiated a program where when you get locked up, you get sterilized. And it was targeting women. This was one of the most evil white women to ever walk the planet. I know a lot of white people trip out when they see them when we at camp and they see them on our signs, right? But they don't even know. Like some of them know, but they don't even know how detrimental this woman was to the annihilation of our people, man. I mean, you know how many babies was killed because of her? It's still here because of her. She's the originator of this, the progenitor of this targeted plan to kill your babies from the womb. You don't even have to sit the police up on it. You don't even have to sit there and try to take the man up out the house and destroy the family. They went as far as to forget that. Let's go right to the baby before it even comes out, before it even sees daylight. Because the process of abortion is horrible. The process of abortion is now, see, it ain't as, like back in the day, they used to even take hangers and yank it. You know what I'm saying? Just yank the baby out, cut it somehow, kill it. Now, well, sometimes they pull the whole thing out and then the baby has to sit there and die on the table. And I don't mean to be so graphic, but sometimes, man, the truth hurts. And it's not pretty. And it needs to be told. Because what they do now what they do is they use an instrument to where it kills the baby immediately. And then they take the baby and they pull it out and cut it up for what they need. They also have another procedure where they sit there, if they just want to totally get rid of this baby and this woman, they'll inject it with something, man, and it's like the baby literally, as a fetus, burns from the inside out. This is the type of people we do. And what are we doing? We're assisting them in our own demise by killing our own children. So now, let's talk about Margaret Sanger and this thing she had called the Negro Project, right? In the late 1930s, Sanger began an effort, and this comes from the Washington Post, by the way. I like to, get some sources for the articles, so so you can look it up yourself. In the late 1930s, Sanger began an effort to bring the clinics to the rural South in what was called the Negro Project, right? Sanger recruited Black leaders to support the effort, and in letters to she sent letters to project directors. Let me set it up real quick. She goes down south, right? Evidently, she's from the north. She's doing a thing up there. She wants to project towards the south. A lot of niggas down there, way she think. So they come up with the Negro Project. They head down south. And now she's writing letters to these directors that she's appointed for the project, for the Negro Project, right? And it urged that white men who were outsiders should not run the clinics. Say that again. White men who were outsiders should not run the clinics. Let's see why. She said the effort would gain more credibility with greater community involvement, given natural suspicions. Meaning that if they go down south and they got all these white people trying to promote abortions and have them doing them, Black people wouldn't be attracted to it. The minister's work is also important, and he should be trained, perhaps by the Federation, as to our ideals and the goal that we hope to reach. So if they're not attracting if they're not looking for whites to promote what they're doing with these Negro project by having these clinics set up for abortions down south, if they're not dealing with the white people, who are the ministers? These are your black leaders, man. These are your black so-called Christian leaders. That just about every Christian church, you look at who's running their church, they promote abortion. Real quick, let's look at Isaiah 56 and 11. Let's see if the scriptures back up what this Negro project is doing, right? Because again, we looking at it never fails, man. The black leaders are always in there trying to either sell us out, turn their backs on us, or keep us asleep to the truth and to who you really are. All right? So let's look at Isaiah 56, verse 11. And it reads, "Yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough." Your preachers, your Christian preachers, man, your black leaders, man, your politicians, man, they can never have enough of milking and straining the neck of the nation of Israel. They will always side with this white man to keep to not only keep you calm and quiet and so-called nonviolent to where you don't do nothing, to where you don't stand up, or they'll dumb you down and tell you to do certain things when they know it's wrong for their bread. And they can't get enough. They will keep doing it and doing it and doing it. They will not stop. Let's keep reading. And they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, every one for his gain, for his quarter. Now, what does that mean, man? Man, these politicians, these black leaders, these black Christians, preachers, man, they want everything. They want the cut that the government's gonna give for getting the abortions. They want a cut in the stem cell research that the money you're gonna make from regenerating people's tissue. They even want the cut from when they change the minds of these young sisters and brothers that are confused and have no idea the damage that they do. They even want part of that. They want everything that has something to do with destroying you. And I just want to bring that out again, man. That's Isaiah 56 and 11, man. That's a very powerful scripture to have. Now let's get back to the article. I'll start from the beginning. The minister's work is also important, and he should be trained, perhaps by the Federation, as to our ideals and the goal that we hope to reach. Sanger wrote in a 1939 letter, right? She wrote this letter in 1939. We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. What did we just say? We just said, man, they use that preacher to keep to keep black people cool, to keep them calm. Make sure they don't riot. Make sure they don't do anything crazy. Just talk to them, lie to them, do what you got to do. But in this situation, Martin Sanger is sitting here telling you, we do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. It's telling you right there, man, that this woman, with her eugenics movement, sterilization, abortions, used our own people to kill us, to convince us to kill our children. That's how deep this thing goes. Since we on that topic, right? We on Martin Singer. I like to go across a couple, cause see, I don't want to just say it, you know what I mean, for myself. Let's use her words. These are like 21 quotes, man, that she said out her mouth. But for my view, I believe that there should be no more babies. These are interviews that she had with different people. You know, I could sit there and say to people, but you know, it take a little longer. But this was like in 1947, right? Then the most merciful thing that large family does to one of its infant member, wait, it's a lot. The most merciful thing that the large family does to one of its infant members is to kill it. That's having mercy. That's the one of the most merciful things you can do. See how she's trying to paint this? These are her words, man. This is Margaret Sanger's words. This woman is pure evil. Let's look at we do not want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. Of course, we just read that one. Okay. I accepted an invitation to talk to the women's branch of the Ku Klux Klan. I was escorted to the platform, was introduced, and began to speak. In the end, through simple illustrations, I believe I had accomplished my purpose. A dozen invitations to speak to similar groups were offered, meaning that she started spreading these clinics through connections with the Ku Klux Klan. So you think the Ku Klux Klan ain't running some of these Planned Parenthoods or white supremacists? It don't even matter. They all the same. Because at the end of the day, what we talking about? We talking about how this woman wanted to annihilate the Negro population. I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world. Listen to that, man. I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world that have disease from their parents, that have no chance in the world to be a human being practical. Delinquents, prisoners, all sorts of things that just marked when they born. That is, to me, is the greatest sin that people can commit. Meaning that people that are in poverty, people that basically, man, people that are poor, people that just don't have a lot of money. They living in the hoods, they living in the ghettos. People that are sick, people that like basically, man, this woman is saying things, and some people have no choice into what they are. She like they don't deserve to live. This is what you're dealing with. Eugenics without birth control seems to us a house built upon the sands. It is at the mercy of the rising stream of the unfit, meaning that people, basically, without birth control, without eugenics, it's like having a house built in the sand, and the water will come and eventually take it out. She comparing a house in the sand by the water to where, you know, like if houses are built right by the water on the beach, they usually got them big stilts to hold them up. You know what I'm saying? Because like the power of the waves and crashing and stuff will like just, you know, annihilate the house. You know what I'm saying? The tide. She's sitting there saying not having eugenics and not having birth control is like having a house close to the sand. It's like it's insane, man. It's crazy. Let's find another. The most urgent problem today is how to limit and discourage the over fertility of the mentality and physical defective. Meaning, if somebody is, I ain't even heard that word. I'm like, man, she made that up. Over fertility, meaning that you're over for you're past being fertile. Like somebody can touch you and you get pregnant. Whatever. Mental and physical defective is the most urgent problem today. Is how to limit and discourage it. Basically, she believed in using eugenics if you had a physical or mental disability. This lady's insane, man. I mean, it goes on. A marriage license shall in itself give husband and wife only the right to a common household and not the right to parenthood. You don't have, you're married to lie down with a woman. For that woman to lie down with that man, for that man to lie down with that woman, is marriage. Sex is marriage. Okay? Going to the Bible. Sex is marriage. But you don't have the right to have a child. That's not your right. You should be getting permission for it. Like you control that anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's for the Most High. He want that child to be here, he gonna be here. But this woman is saying, you don't even, just because you're married, you have a marriage license, you don't have a right to have children too. Crazy, man. I get a couple more. We'll move on. Birth control itself often denounces as a violation of natural law. Is nothing more or less than the facilitation of the process of weeding out the unfit. Birth control to her, eugenics, abortions, is weeding out the unfit, of preventing the birth of defectives or those who will become defectives. If we are to make racial progress, listen to this, man. I'm gonna read that again. Man, white folks talking code. They use code word like we use slang. You know what I'm saying? Listen to that. See, when she says defectives, when she's saying defectives, man, all that means is like it's talking about blacks, Hispanics, and everything. That's all it's talking about. Because she ain't saying. Here's how you know it's not even talking about necessarily people that are born with defects. She says, or of those who will become defective. Then she says, if we are to make racial progress. This woman she was like hardcore aiming at annihilating Israel. And it's still going down right now. It's still going down. These abortions, we just read earlier, abortions is 900 a day. 900 abortions a day in the U.S. All right? Let me read this quote from her again. Facilitation of the process of weeding out the unfit, of preventing the birth of defects or of those who will become defectives. If we are to make racial progress, this development of womanhood must precede motherhood in every individual woman and the new race. She's basically saying that woman should have their choice. Because she know if they're using this Negro project and all these other projects and campaigns to have abortions, they're going to. That's the whole point. They're trying to put that decision on the woman, on the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian woman to make that decision to kill that child. That's the whole point of them saying it's their decision. Because they're going to sit there and program the fact that it's your decision. If it's your decision, kill it. This is nothing that these people been, what we read, man, like 1927, 29. They've been doing this, they've been setting this up for a long time. That's why Planned Parenthood is so strong. And you know, it's not, here's another part about Planned Parenthood is jacked up, man. We're going to get to this next article, it's important too. Another jacked up thing about Planned Parenthood is that Man, I can respect, and marching and all that picking and stuff, man, don't really do nothing, man. We gotta be people of action. We gotta separate ourselves. We're holy people. We need to separate ourselves from their society, separate ourselves, and go by this law. You know what I'm saying? Go by this law, the law of the Bible, and accept who we are. And we wouldn't have to worry about that. But what's messed up is what I noticed. I've seen it here, even in Nashville, man, is that, man, it be white people picketing at them Planned Parenthood spots. You'll never see no black folks saying no. I don't. I'll always see white folks though. There be some elderly white woman some with a picket sign by herself, like, this is not right. You know what I mean? I can respect it more if our people was out there. But again, our people are so lost out here, man, they don't even care. They don't care. And it's being pushed. It's pushed in this society to where it's like, that's the thing to do. It's almost like, how many have you had? It ain't have you had one, or how could you do that? It's like, how many have you had? It's killing us, man. 900 a day. All right, now I want to break down also, what is stem cell research? Because like I said, they stopped throwing them in the trash. And I don't mean to be so graphic, but again, truth hurts. It needs to be said. They used to take, I said earlier in this class that they used to take these babies, these fetuses, and just toss them in the trash. It got to a point where people were going through the trash and whatnot. And then the scientists started figuring out that the cells that come from these fetuses are very strong in stem cells. So they start doing stem cell research. Now let's find out what stem cell research actually is. Earlier I said there's an NFL football player named Peyton Manning. I'll never forget that, man. He messed his neck up. They started doing stem cell research, and he started using it. And he had a degenerative, he was either degenerative disease in his neck, or he messed his neck up somehow. And it regenerated. It regenerated what was messed up in his neck. Now let's see what stem cell research really is. And of course, let me tell you what this article is, man. This is the Oxford Academic Cardiovascular Research. Origin and use of embryonic and adult stem research. Select. Origin and use of embryonic and adult stem cells in differentiation in tissue repair. So this is how they use stem cells in adults. Okay, not saying that it's coming from adults, it's they using them in adults. Let's see why. I'm gonna cut to the chase. There's a whole bunch of scientific mumbo jumbo. I'm gonna cut to the chase. Okay. Here's what stem cell research is used in: adult bone marrow, brain, skeletal muscle, the liver, the pancreas, fat, skin, and okay, that's it. It has been shown to possess stem or progenitor cells with the capacity to differentiate or transdifferentiate into cell types other than their tissue of origin. That means they use these stem cells on tissue that is degenerating, like going bad, or over time, there's certain things, certain illnesses, or certain arthritis, stuff like that, just gets worse over time. It's going to keep getting worse and worse. And like I said before, man, the white man is terrified to die. Like, he thinks he can live forever. He really thinks that he can live this life forever. Like I said, man, Rothschild had like about 10 heart transplants. Where do you think he getting hearts from? There wasn't no pig hearts. They always snatching up people's bodies, and you find them with no organs in them and stuff. You think that's an accident? That's a whole nother subject. Let's get back to stem cells. But those stem cells, they regenerate. That's the whole point, right? Cell population from bone marrow have shown the highest potential with respect to multilineage differentiation and functional engraftment into host animal, meaning that they're used all the time to help in regeneration of the cells. Now, there's a column that says tissue of origin, and it says it's just like some like I said earlier, liver, fat, skin, pancreas, brain. These are the things that's going bad, right? Then it has another column that says newly formed tissue. Where's the newly formed tissue coming from? All right, I'm trying to get that. It's like it's darker. But where's the newly formed tissue coming from? All right, the newly formed tissue is coming from these stem cells that they get from body parts, from these fetuses, right? They use them to repair the brain, the kidney, skeletal muscle, and I'm just going down in the column: bone, fat, heart, liver, lungs, skin, gastrointestinal tract. They taking these stems and they putting them there to regenerate, right? The retina in your eye. Let's see, lung, heart, the kidney, intestine, spleen, bone marrow, even the blood. They're even using it for the blood. Okay, and that's just to explain to you that stem cells is what they get and what they're using from these body parts, from these babies. All right, not just the body parts, but like what's inside. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying earlier, the placenta, the umbilical cord, even the blood from the fetus, very high in stem cells. Okay, let me now what I want to go to next is, it was some time ago, I think it was in 2015, and this is useful just to prove the fact that them using stem cell research, and I say them, I'm talking about all these Planned Parenthood, and it's not just Planned Parenthood. It's a lot of other big companies involved with this whole process of how should I say, of getting financial gain. They've made it a system. They've made it a system where the sister pays to get rid of the child that has an abortion. She pays to get rid of it. They take that baby, they cut him up, they even take the blood. Then there's other entities involved to where you ship it to. People are paying for this. Once they're shipped to these places, then the stem cells are extracted from these parts, and then they're used to in repairs of different adult body parts. So then guess who's paying for that? The person that's paying for the operation. Is a whole system in what they're using our people for. Again, the white man always uses us as a resource. But this is so diabolical that he's using our children as a resource. You talking about Matrix. You know, the Matrix like had all these big egg type bubble thing with all these people in them, and they just growing, and like they really dreaming that they living a life, but really the aliens are sucking everything out of them to survive. That's what this white man is doing. He's acting like that alien. And he's fooling us, fooling our sisters, fooling our brothers to thinking that this is a way out of having a child, like it's a burden, like it's a punishment. It's a blessing, man. For you to have that baby, teach that baby, watch that baby grow into a beautiful princess. Watch that baby grow into a very strong, powerful, intelligent warrior. Man, that's a blessing in itself. Just being in that experience. But the white man's fooled us into thinking that it's a burden, it's a punishment. Let's get to this article. Again, this happened in 2015. It's named Baby Parts for Sale. It's about a controversial video that shows the discussion with Planned Parenthood over fetal tissue sales. Sales. When I say sales, SALES, not CELLS. But just again, like we was talking about tissue, you know, how they using the stem cells to regenerate different tissues in the body. She's sitting here talking about it. All right. And I took a couple. Let me see. Let me find it. We don't read the whole thing, of course. It's just a couple little snippets I thought was important. So go back. One second. Okay, on July 14, 2015, the Center of Medical Progress posted a video purportedly showing a leading Planned Parenthood doctor, Dr. Deborah Nakatola, admitting to a pair of actors pretending to be buyers from a human biologics company that Planned Parenthood sells organs from aborted fetuses. This ain't a game. This is not a game. I'm gonna say that one part again. Dr. Deborah Nakatola, admitting to a pair of actors pretending to be buyers from a human biologistics company that Planned Parenthood sells organs from aborted fetuses. Okay. Okay, let me say this part. An undercover video released this morning shows a national leader of Planned Parenthood admitting that the abortion provider uses the illegal and highly controversial partial birth portion procedure to sell intact fetal body parts. The average asking price for a fetal body parts is between $30 and $100 per specimen. Dr. Deborah Nakatola has been Senior Director of the Medical Services at Planned Parenthood since February 2009, where she oversees medical practices at all Planned Parenthood affiliates nationwide. She has been employed by Planned Parenthood for more than a decade. She also performs abortions up to 24 weeks in Los Angeles. So this is like a regular thing. You know what I'm saying? Let me go on down a little bit. All right, the Center for Medical Progress claimed that the video was part of a 3-year investigation into Planned Parenthood's practice of selling aborted fetuses parts and captured a conversation with her. Right? And then, of course, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just want to bring out how evil these people are, man. Like, it's ridiculous, man. This is real. This is not good. All right, I'm gonna read this article part right here just to make the connection. You know what I'm saying? The connection of the abortions to the stem cell research. The Center for Medical Progress issued a response to the above displayed press release, claiming that Planned Parenthood does profit off the use of aborted fetuses, despite the group's denial. So, right above this part of the article, of course, Planned Parenthood is denying this, right? So here's the facts they find out about. Planned Parenthood makes 2 key admissions in their statement today. And again, this was in 2015. But this is how you have to go to the past and connect everything. You know what I'm saying? So you understand the whole system of what they're trying to do. 1, aborted fetal parts are harvested at their clinics. So they harvest all these parts. When they take these babies out, they're chopping them up, they're putting them in order, like heads here, arms here, wherever the case may be, and they're putting them up, they harvest them. like you do crops. You know what I'm saying? Like when you do crops, man, you dig up all your crops and you either can them or freeze them. This is what they do. People eat. Money is exchanged in connection with this. You know that? Money is exchanged in connection with this. This is what is admitted by Planned Parenthood. They also tell several lies that proper consent is obtained from parents. There's no consent from parents. I can remember, if I'm not mistaken, Obama even okayed the fact that you don't even, a girl that's 15, 16 years old, don't even have to have the permission of her parents to get an abortion. Okay? So we know that's true. That Planned Parenthood does not make money off the body parts. You know, this is what they're denying. That everything is legal. The Center for Medical Progress has obtained an advertisement to Planned Parenthood clinics for STEM Express LLC. The name of the company that is advertising for them or with them is called STEM Express LLC. STEM research. Let's keep it. Hold on 1 second. Oh man, right man, this guy. Drop not okay, there we go. Very good. So good. We're gonna bring it out anyway. It's all good. Try to stop. So let me get back to this spot. 1 second, okay. The Center of Medical Progress has obtained an advertisement to Planned Parenthood's clinics from STEM Express LLC, one of the major purchasers of Planned Parenthood's aborted fetal tissue. I'll say it again. One of the major purchasers of Planned Parenthood's aborted fetal tissue. STEM Express LLC is what happens after the abortion, after everything is harvested. STEM Express LLC comes into play. They make a deal for how much of these body parts they can get. They pay that junk, and they out. They move. Okay, it's letting you know this is an evil system that they've created. This flyer advertises 4 different times in the financial benefit that Planned Parenthood clinics can receive from supplying fetal tissue. So this is an advertisement from STEM Express LLC. It talks about it's just like promoting their company. Check this out. It says, these are the words: financially profitable, financial profits, financial benefit to your clinic, physical growth of your own clinic. They're basically, so let me see if I should read the rest of that. The advertisement carries an endorsement from Planned Parenthood Medical Director, Dr. Dorothy Ferguson. None of this is standard across the mainstream medical field, but it is standard across Planned Parenthood's insular and unaccountable abortion field. This is how they get that. This is the system. This is what they think about you, Israel. Sister, this is what happens when you decide that you don't want to give your money. You think your life is over. You think you don't have to have that child. That's the whole point of this class. It's unraveling this evil ass plan that they devised and came up with, not only to try to annihilate our nation, but also to make a resource off the death of our children. First, they program you and make you think it's the thing to do. Then when they get you in that building, they get that baby out of you. After they get that baby out of you, they harvest all the body parts. You pay them to do it. They get a check from the government for doing it. They got financial places that deal with STEM research called STEM Express LLC that pays them for the body parts that they just harvested. Then what do they do after that? They take, I don't know if STEM Express is a middleman and they shoot it to the medical field, but in the medical field, they take their stem cell research, they take those stem cells, and then they start using it in medical procedures, operations. And they make money off of it again. They just flip their dollars 100 different ways off the death of our children. Ain't nothing else I can say, Israel. With that, shalom.